In a quiet corner of Alabama, down a dusty road few outsiders ever travel, a 911 call shattered the stillness of summer morning. What police thought was a tragic suicide turned out to be something far darker, a calculated lie buried beneath layers of manipulation, rage, and betrayal. A husband lay dying. A wife claimed innocence. But when neighbors spoke and forensics told their tale, the truth began to bleed through. This is the story of Rachel Penner, and how her desperate act couldn't escape the weight of justice. The summer air in Stonebridge, Alabama, was thick with heat and quiet on the morning of July 14th, 2020. Farmington Road, a dusty stretch just beyond the edge of town, lay still except for the occasional hum of cicadas and the low rumble of passing trucks. Most residents were still nestled in sleep or preparing for the day's work. But inside a faded white trailer at the end of a gravel path, everything had changed. At 6:53 a.m., a 911 call crackled over dispatch. The voice was frantic, female, out of breath. "He's hurt. He's bleeding. There's so much blood. Please send someone." That voice wasn't Rachel Penner's. It was Samantha Harden, one of the neighbors. She and her husband Bryce had run across the small yard and barged in after hearing what sounded like a gunshot followed by muffled crying. When first responders arrived minutes later, they found 54-year-old David Penner slumped in an armchair in the living room. Blood soaked through the front of his shirt, pooling on the linoleum. His breaths were shallow, rattling. Rachel Penner, his 48-year-old wife, was seated on the couch, calm, composed, talking on her cell phone as if nothing was wrong. Paramedics rushed to stabilize David as officers fanned out, trying to understand what they were walking into. Rachel told Officer Naomi Briggs that she had fallen asleep on the couch and woke up to a loud bang. "He must have done it to himself," she said. "He's been really down lately. I don't know, but something didn't add up." Rachel had made no attempt to call 911. Instead, she called her sister, then sat calmly as her husband bled out. Bryce Harden stepped forward. She was just sitting there, didn't even move when we came in, just kept saying, "It's fine, he'll be okay," like it was nothing. The officers noticed something else. There was no weapon near David's body. Detectives combed the trailer. David's wound appeared to be a close-range gunshot to the chest, angled slightly upward. There were no powder burns on his hands. No signs he had held a weapon. It wasn't until officers entered the bedroom that they found the missing gun. Tucked beneath a floral blanket was a 9mm Ruger pistol. There were no fingerprints, not even David's. It looked like it had been carefully wiped down. Rachel was taken in for questioning that afternoon. Detective Mark Ellison led the interview. "I heard the bang and ran in," she began. "He was holding the gun. I took it from him, put it on the table. I panicked. But then, a beat later, she said, 'Actually, I might have dropped it, maybe on the couch. Or maybe I tossed it under the pillow. I don't remember.'" Detective Ellison raised an eyebrow. "You don't remember where you put a gun after your husband shot himself?" Rachel bit her lip, looked away. The inconsistencies kept coming. She said David was awake, then said he was unconscious. She said she saw the blood, but didn't think to call 911. Something wasn't right. That night, another neighbor stepped forward. Jonas Walker, who lived 2 trailers down, told officers Rachel had shown up at his place the night before. She was drunk, slurring, said David had been pushing her around. Said, and I quote, "If he pushes me again, I swear I'll end him." Jonas said he thought it was just booze-fueled venting. But in light of the morning's events, it felt a lot darker. Back at the station, Rachel tried a different tactic. She told officers David had abused her. "I just wanted to scare him. I grabbed the gun to make him stop yelling. I didn't think it would actually go off. I didn't think the bullet would go through the pillow." The room went quiet. Detective Ellison leaned forward. "You fired a gun through a pillow at a man's chest?" Rachel nodded, her eyes dry. "I didn't mean to. I just wanted him to feel what I felt." When left alone briefly in the interview room, surveillance cameras caught Rachel licking and wiping her palms furiously. She later claimed she had eczema. "It itches real bad when I'm nervous." But investigators weren't buying it. They'd already swabbed her hands for gunshot residue. At Stonebridge Medical Center, doctors fought to save David. He was put on life support, but died at 10:46 p.m. When detectives broke the news to Rachel, she finally cried. But even that felt rehearsed. It was like she was acting. Officer Briggs later said, "The tears came too late, and they stopped way too fast." David's sister and Penner had been warning him for years. Rachel drained him, financially, emotionally. She drank constantly, berated him in public. He was trying to leave her. That's why this happened. Rachel's own cousin confirmed it. She told me once, "If he ever walks out that door, I'll shoot him myself." I didn't think she meant it. Confronted with forensics, Rachel folded. "I had it under the pillow," she admitted. "I pulled it out. I didn't mean to shoot. I swear." But she had. She didn't call for help. Didn't try to stop the bleeding. She let David die. In August 2022, Rachel Penner stood trial. The prosecution presented a clear case of premeditated violence. The defense tried to play the abuse angle, but there was no evidence David had ever raised a hand. The jury took less than 4 hours. Guilty, second-degree murder, unlawful possession of firearm. The judge didn't mince words. You let a man die because you didn't get your way. Then you lied about it. Then you lied again. He sentenced her to 46 years in prison. Stonebridge isn't a big place. Tragedies echo longer in quiet towns. The trailer on Farmington Road was eventually boarded up. Grass grew wild. Kids stopped biking past it. But the memory of David Penner lingered. A kind man, a quiet soul, a victim of someone who claimed to love him. His story isn't just about betrayal. It's about a truth that refused to stay buried, and a justice that came not from what Rachel said, but from everything she couldn't explain. Rachel Penner said it was suicide. She said it was an accident, but the truth was written in every contradiction, in every word she couldn't keep straight, and in the silence that followed when she let David Penner die. Lies may cover the surface, but the truth always finds its way through. This was more than tragedy. It was a choice, and the justice system chose not to look away. Thanks for watching Deadly Affairs. If this story gripped you, hit like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more real stories where truth catches up to the lie, no matter how deep it's buried.